I'm currently training for a sub 2 hour 30 marathon, of which I'm going to be trying at the London Marathon October this year in 2022. I'm also looking to be able to deadlift 200 kilograms within a week of that race. This video is going to be purely based on my current strength routine. First, I'm going to explain the importance of a training plan and why it is I do it. So my method is on a Sunday or a Monday, I'll edit my pre-made training plan. I have a Word document and then I'll just go back over it and edit it for my upcoming week. I find if I just have a training plan, it gives me direction. Also, let's face it, if you're working incredibly hard, your mind will always want the easy way out. So this is a way where I have it in paper. I know at the start of the week what a perfect week will look like, and this way I can just aim for something, hold myself accountable for it. And actually I find when I have a training plan, not only is it beneficial because I can actually track progressive overload in terms of the weights to ensure I'm getting stronger, it's also beneficial because it actually helps me with the efficiency in a gym. If I can't get on something, then I might have to swap my workouts about if that equipment's taken, for example. But I find if I just go into the gym and I don't quite know what I'm doing, I'm going to blag it a little bit more, and then over the whole week the quality and the intensity of your workouts aren't quite as much. I see myself as someone that's quite disciplined, and even I struggle with, if I don't have a training plan, maybe the last set or the last few reps where I'm struggling, I don't like crack them out, or I'm more likely to, not fulfill those exercises or what I actually wanted to do before. But if I have it on paper, then I find this way I know I have the direction and I'm much more likely to actually do what's necessary for me to unlock maximum growth. I've got my current strength workout plan on screen now, so I'm just going to share that so you can see it. And jumping into this, I'm just going to go straight from Monday, but quickly just scrolling down to Sunday. So each Sunday is a little bit of a recovery day for me. I'll go into that in a little bit more detail as I go through the week in chronological order. But the reason why I just touched on that is to explain that way I'm nice and fresh first thing on Monday for my first session of the week. And that's because I'm looking to be able to deadlift 200 kilograms. My current personal best is 175 kilograms, so I've got to add 25 kilograms of weight before October. This deadlift is my heavy deadlift day. Anyone who's interested, I've actually transitioned to sumo deadlifts recently. I made a video of my current deadlift form, and I've been sumo deadlifting. I've actually started to feel really good, and I've actually began to enjoy it more than just a standard deadlift. The first exercise on Monday here is a deadlift, and I'll operate between 3 to 5 reps by 4 sets. Now you might be wondering, why 3 to 5? Is it 3 or is it 5? What I tend to do, I'll do 2 at 5 reps and 2 at 3. The reason why I do that is because I like to get a little bit more of drilling the reps before I go heavy, just so I can feel it a little bit better. The last rep on the 3 reps might be a failure, but it's only the last set, so I want to complete all of these exercises. And if I'm failing on my 5 reps, then it's just going to actually hinder my deadlifts a little bit. So I do have long rests in between my deadlifts, between 3 to 4 minutes. These are what I class as working sets, so the 4 sets, but I'll probably do 4 or 5 sets building up in my weight before I even get to a workout set. So I'm actually deadlifting for probably best part of an hour. The thing I want to clarify in this, whenever you're doing a training plan, you have to look at your goals. If you don't know what your goals are, if you don't know what you want to get out of your training sessions, then it's pointless having a training plan. I know some people, they'll go to the gym, they don't actually ask themselves a question of what it is that they want to succeed or work towards, where I'm trying to build strength without building body weight, because ultimately I want to keep my body weight the same if I can, because more body weight, more muscle mass is going to mean that my body requires more oxygen, which is actually going to make me a little bit slower. It's going to hinder my running essentially. So not only do you need to focus on nutrition, but you also need to focus on your method with lifting weights. This isn't a bodybuilding workout, but going into my next exercise is leg press. And again, I touched on, this isn't a bodybuilding training plan or a bodybuilding workout, because bodybuilders will train a little bit more where the overload is incredibly important. So each exercise or each day they'll focus on one muscle group, where I will focus around the lifts. With a sumo deadlift or deadlifts in general, the first part of the lift is kind of like a leg press. So that's why on my second exercise I've got a leg press, because I'm focusing not on muscle groups but on the actual functional movement of a lift. So each day I'll focus on the exact muscle groups that I'm going to be using on my main lift. So leg press is the second one, just do 3 times 10 reps, which is something that I like to do. So I go for the low rep ranges on the heavy functional lifts, but the 10 reps, again, I'm not going towards failure. The reason why I don't go towards failure is because if I did go towards failure, it's going to disrupt my runs from the DOMs in the upcoming days. So I do run on all of these days pretty much before, or I do aim to do that. I'm recovering from a few injuries, so I'm gradually building my miles up at the minute. On the third exercise, I have a lat pull down. You have your lower back from deadlifting, the center part of your upper back, and your lats, which is the wide area on your back. So I like to kind of go like a wide and then do a center one as well. So I've already done the lower back and my quads, which is the initial part of the deadlift, and then going from the other parts of the back, which you do use because you actually trigger your lats a lot in a deadlift as well. Lat pull down, this is a 3 by 10 again, not going towards failure again. And then the other part, the center part of my back, rather than like the wings if you like, which is the lats, I just do seated row 3 times 10. And as well, I do these seated rows with the idea of, which I mentioned in my last video, I want to do some high rocks training eventually, and I want to compete in a high rocks race, which is something I have my eyes on in the future. And rows are really important because with high rocks you're doing a lot of lower body movements as well as running, but you're also doing a lot of rowing exercises, which is why I've incorporated that into this as well. And then every single day I'm in the gym, I'll always do a superset of pull-ups and tricep dips. I don't feel like you can do enough pull-ups or tricep dips, so I've got here with the rep ranges 3 times 10 pull-ups and then 15 tricep dips. 10 reps is what I can do every single day. For example, I think I could probably get around 18 to 20 reps maximum if I was going like fresh. My first set doing pull-ups if I was going towards failure, but I'm going towards 10 reps here, which is around 50% of my failure, because if you imagine you're going towards failure, the next day I might only be able to get 2, but I did 20 reps for example, whereas here I'm doing 10 reps, but over the course of the week I'm going to accumulate more reps because I'm going to be able to do 10 reps the next day and the next day and the next day. And I just like doing pull-ups. I think it's really good to be able to actually lift your own body, and as well I like the hang time hanging from a bar because it's really good for shoulder mobility. These calisthenics movements I like to make sure I'm still strong within my own body weight, because calisthenics movements is a strength in its own right. Tuesday, my first exercise is a bench press. I'll go heavy again, 3 to 5 reps. Pretty much all of my Olympic lifts, the deadlifts, the squats and the bench press, I would go to 3 to 5 rep ranges. I do that because again I'm strength building. The reason why I do chest, so you imagine I've done deadlifts, they're like quite heavy on your lower back. Instead of squatting the next day, which is also heavy on your lower back, I like to do bench press, which it is using your lower back as well, because I bench press with an arch in my back. The main reason because that you can lift more weight, where bodybuilders typically would keep the back flat on the bench because it's isolating the chest muscle, meaning you're going to trigger more growth in that particular muscle, where I'm not really focused on that. I just want to lift the most weight possible for me. So I arch my back. I am using my lower back, but I'm not using it anywhere near as much as if I was when I was squatting. If I did deadlifts, squats and bench press, and I feel the squats would be hindered because my lower back's toast from the day before, whereas if I put squats this day, then I'm actually doing a little bit of active recovery I find on the bench press, because I'm using my lower back but I'm not using it in a particularly exerting way. I'm only just triggering it a little bit, so just that blood flow in the muscle group I actually find helps with my recovery for the next day. So again, bench press is my first one. Then dumbbell flyers, I just like to get my chest firing before I go into my next incline bench press. And then again, pull-ups and tricep dips, which I do every single day. This one's going to be squat heavy, again 3 to 5 reps, 4 sets. Again, this might take me, essentially I could be squatting for an hour, because I like to have 4-minute rests in between the exercise, kind of 4 to 5 sets building up to the actual weight. The best way to warm up for a squat is to squat, I find personally. After that I do hip thrusts. And the hip thrusts are really important for runners. I'm having this at the minute where I'm actually struggling with a little bit of runner's knee, and although I think my runner's knee is actually a flexibility problem rather than a strength issue, it's incredibly important to work on your glutes with running, because you use those glutes so much, and this just helps build durability in your body, meaning that you're going to be able to do more miles and actually not get injured, which is only going to make you a better runner. So hip thrusts and again Bulgarian split squats, so important for running, because even though squatting is like my main exercise, I still like to incorporate exercises that improves my running. The reason why Bulgarian split squats improve your running is because if you're doing single-legged squats, then you're actually working on the stabilizer muscles as well, which you imagine when you're actually running, your stabilizer muscles, your tendons and ligaments are all working just as well as your muscles. So these stabilizer muscles, it helps basically keep your balance. So when I'm doing these split squats, it's the main reason why I do those. And again, I'm not going towards failure on any of these exercises. And then a superset, calf raises and kettlebell swings. This might seem a little bit random why I'm doing kettlebell swings and calf raises, but I find if I'm just calf raising, then that's such a specific muscle group at the bottom of your body that you can do other exercises and it doesn't affect the calf raise. You use your calves a lot in running, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? But then I do these kettlebell swings because they work on your lower back and your hips as well. So again, I like to target the same muscle groups that I'm going to be working on for functionality purposes. And this, even though the squat is the main one for like powerlifting reasons, I've already done a run, but I'm also working on the type of movements that are going to improve my actual running form, my actual running technique, the actual to improve my running strength and durability. Thursday, I'm not in the gym at all. This is a track day. The reason why I don't lift on Thursdays, to be honest, is because the tracks are only open from 6:30 to 8 and I can't physically get in the gym before I run, because for me personally, I hate running with a pump. I always run before I get in the gym. Some people like to do it the other way around, but I just hate it, because running is really my priority over weightlifting. The deadlift goal I have, I'm excited about, but running really is a priority. And I find if I lifted first, yes, I might get a little bit more out of my lifts, but it's going to hinder my running way worse than running before lifting would. For me personally, that's how I feel. I just feel slow, lethargic. If I'm running with like a swollen chest or swollen legs, for example, I just hate running like that. On to Friday, this is more of a barbell press. So I still like to do every single muscle group in my body. So I'm focusing on my shoulders here, but again, the barbell press, because I'm standing up, it's working on my lower back. So pretty much in every gym day, I'm working on my lower back. And the main reason why I want to do that is because I want to get to that 200 kilogram deadlift. Even though I'm not actually isolating the lower back, if I'm getting work into that area, that muscle group on a daily basis consistently, then that's going to be triggering growth, if you like, or triggering strength, when my body knows, okay, well, we're using this muscle group quite a lot, we need to get stronger here. After that, I basically go through YTW. This is an exercise that uses more towards the rear delts and the traps, and then delt superset, this is more for frontal exercises. And again, superset, pull-ups and tricep dips or press-ups is something that I do every single day. Saturday, I do a deadlift. However, these deadlifts are more of a light workout. Light deadlifts I'll do towards 10 to 12 reps on the 4 sets, and the main reason is that, again, it's just form. I just want to build up that muscle memory in my body. If I can get my body used to that movement, then it's actually going to improve my form. But the reason why you want to improve form is because if you're deadlifting with a good form, it's actually only going to increase the amount of weight you can add on yourself. Because if, for example, you're bending your lower back over on a deadlift, then you're not actually using the muscles correctly. Where if everything's locked in place and using good form, you're actually triggering more muscles around your whole body, which is actually only going to improve your strength and make you lift more weight. So this is a light exercise, again, more technique based, get my body familiar with it. It's only going to improve my form. And then I'll do some leg extensions, hamstring curls on these two, 3x10 again. The reason why I do this on this exercise, you might be thinking, well, that doesn't go with a deadlift, you're not particularly particularly, you know, leg extensions and hamstring curls. But the reason is my next day is a recovery exercise, but I like to do my leg extensions and curls because these are ones that I find like really affects my legs. DOMs, when I train legs, I find it's most severe 2 days later. Because I do this on a Saturday, my long runs will typically be on a Sunday. But then, if you like, my DOMs are going to be worse on Monday. But this is a reason why I do yoga on Sunday, because it helps fight those DOMs. And I also go in a sauna and have some cold showers. There's not a cold plunge at my gym, but there's cold showers. So this way it actually helps your muscles recover, because you're expanding and contracting your muscles, which is like triggering, ultimately getting rid of this poison in your body, the lactic acid. Sunday I do yoga. I like to roll out my legs and lower back. This way just relaxes all of my muscles, gets rid of the knots what I have, or at least kind of helps get rid of the knots or minimizes them a little bit. I appreciate you might not fully get rid of the knots. Ultimately you probably need a deep tissue massage to fully get rid of the knots in my back, but this way it just relaxes my body and I can get more out of the stretches. So I'll roll up my legs and lower back, and then I do mobility exercises. And the reason why I do mobility exercises before I get into the full body static stretches, I like to do some dynamic stretches, which just helps warm my muscles up a little bit, so when I'm doing the static stretches I can get the most out of them. And actually when you're stretching for yoga, it elongates your muscles, which means you can actually have more muscle within your body. I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but you imagine if your muscles are tight. Say for example, this is like not specific size, but say for example, to put it into layman's terms, your hamstrings are this long, right? Imagine you're static stretching and over the course of 6 months you've gone from here to here. You've got more capability of having more muscle within this area, meaning more strength you can have, or your potential for strength is going to only increase. So not only is this helping with recovery, this helps with strength as well. And I will always after a run stretch before my heavy lifts. And the main reason is I find actually before a deadlift, before a squat, feeling a little bit more flexible means that my muscles or my body isn't operating towards the maximum range of motion, meaning that I'm going to be able to get more out of the lifts because I'm in more of a strong position. I've seen, for example, in other people when they squat, they're not that flexible, they're going down and they're arching forward. But again, explaining the form thing, if they could like manage to be flexible enough where they're staying upright, it's actually going to only improve their strength. And operating kind of, if you like, nowhere near your max range of motion is only going to improve your strength and improve your form, which ultimately is going to help you to lift more weight. I hope you've enjoyed the video or found value in it. If you have, please do give the video a like. Consider subscribing if you are new and want to see my upcoming training videos. I think it'll be quite interesting to explain what it is I'm doing, because I haven't seen anyone else go for this specific goal. So ultimately a lot of this training plan is quite fun for me to actually evaluate and, if you like, come up with a strategy to be able to achieve this goal, because I haven't been familiar with anyone else that has achieved it. So I'm actually trying to work this all out by myself, and it's very enjoyable. So if you're interested in that, again, subscribe so that you can watch the videos in the upcoming weeks.
Tryna play me, they ain't no better. Perp on me, you can call me Chris Webber. Brand new whip with the brand new leather. And now I make plays so they all look jealous.